Hi, today let's see about elastic IP addresses. So it is a static public IPv4 address which is allocated to your AWS account. So static is nothing but which remains the same even after the instance reboots. So it allows us to assign and also reassign a fixed IP, fixed public IP or to an easy to instance even after stopping and starting the instances. So elastic IP address is a permanent public IP address that will not change even if the instance is restarted. So normally we will when we are launching an EC2 instance and we stopped it and started again, it will we will get a new public IP. So if we use the elastic IP address, we can see the same public IP. So the users or customers always connect to the correct address. So the companies will use in case if a company hosts a website on an EC2 instance, so they want their customers to always access the website using the same IP. So they will assign an elastic IP to that particular instance. So now even if the server restarts, the IP will not change. The IP doesn't change. So it can be also reassociated with different instance, and also it AWS allows one elastic IP for free. So here we can see that when we are using other AWS services, we will be charged for which service we are using. But here it is opposite that if elastic IP is not attached to any running instances, AWS will charge us. So we should not leave the elastic IPs unattached, so it will cost some charges. So the companies will use in case they want the fixed public IP. So now let's try. So log into your management console and select the region. And in EC2, let's launch an instance. So click on launch instance and give a name. And select Amazon Linux. In instance type T2 micro. Select the existing key pair. And in network settings, click on edit. So the VPC we must select here is custom VPC, and the subnet VPC custom VPC subnet 1, which is public, and auto assign public IP we should enable, and select the existing security group. In advanced details, we must paste the user data. I'm pasting it here. So this is the website, and now click on launch instance. So normally for every instances we will have the private IPv4 address and the public IPv4 address. So the public IP, it is an address that is reachable over the internet. So when a device or instance, like easy to instance here, has a public IP, it can directly send and retrieve the data from the internet. But the public IP, it is used for a communication within a private network. So instance with private IP can talk to each other inside the particular network, but can't access the internet unless a public IP or NAT gateway is used. So now we will try accessing the website. So I have copied the public IP, and so I can now able to access the this website. If we copy the private IP, we can't able to access through the internet. So we can't access the particular website through private IP, but it is possible using the public IP. And now we can check that after stopping this instance, how the public IP will get changed. So now it is 47.129.221.238. So now let's stop this instance and check whether the public IP is changing or not. So I'm stopping this instance. So now you can see here that the instance is completely stopped. So now we can't see any public IP address here because we have stopped this instance. And we will start it again. So select the instance, and in instance state, choose the start instance. Okay. So now you can see that another public IP has been given, but the private IP would not change after stopping or starting it again. So the private IP address will be the same for the instance, but here the new IP, public IP has been given after restarting. So now let's try using the elastic IP. Now in network and security, we have the elastic IPs. Select and click on allocate elastic IP address. And okay, so now just click on allocate. Now after allocating, we will receive this pop-up. So click on associate this elastic IP address, and in instance we have to choose the running instance, and so this is the instance ID, and in first resource type we have to select the instance type and the instance ID and the private IP address 192.168.1.47. so this is the private IP address, and then okay. So now click on associate. So again go to the instance. So the elastic IP has been allocated. So we will again check the IP address whether we will see the same public IP or it gets changed or not. So select the instance and click on stop instance. So while stopping, we received an public IP address. So it was the instance status stopping. So let's start it once again. So in the previous one, we didn't see any public IP address after stopping the instance. But now after allocating the IP, elastic IP address, we can see the IP, public IP here. So now let's start it again. So even after the running state, after restarting the instance, we can see the same public IP address. So this is the thing which will elastic IP will do. So again we can access through this IP. Using elastic IP, we can access through the internet. So now in elastic IP, select the elastic IP, and in actions, we can see here the option disassociate elastic IP. So click and disassociate. And again select the elastic IP, and in action we can see release elastic IP address. So click and release. Otherwise we will get some charges. So release it, and next in instance select the instance and terminate it. So okay, this is how the elastic IP works. Thank you.